Welcome back to RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia 2018, brought to you by Redcon One. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is our good friend Arash Rahbar, getting ready for the Classic Physique Olympia once again. This is your third time.
Third year, yes.
You could be like a historian of the Classic Physique division because you've been to every Olympia.
Making me feel old. Yeah. I was there from the start. 2016 first year, 17 last year, and now we're on our third.
Danny Hester at the first one. Last year, obviously, Breon Ansley winning that. And obviously this year we wanted to see Arash Rahbar winning the Olympia.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's go back to the Arnold this year, though. You did the Arnold Classic. Obviously, I thought it was a good move for you. A lot of guys skipped it. I don't know why. It's a big event. It was the first one. Breon won. It was very close between you and him. Did you think that? What did you think about the look that you brought to the Arnold compared to the Olympia?
It was my best package to date. There was no comparison for the Olympia. The Olympia 2017 is a little, if you look at prejudging and night show, there's a huge difference in my physique. In prejudging, I looked like nothing was popping. I looked like I was sleeping. But night show, I was 30%, maybe 40% better, but we didn't get judged. So Arnold was my best package to date. That being said, I still think I can be a bit better. I've grown and developed. I'm bigger, and I think I can be fuller on stage. My weigh-in weight, my stage weight for the Arnold was 1 pound difference. I didn't really blow up after weigh-in or anything. I never do anything crazy to begin with, but I think I could be a little bit fuller.
Now, you made an interesting statement to me before the show. We were talking, and you said, I'm not one of these guys who weighs, because you're a big guy, and obviously you have to suck down to make weight. But you're not one of these guys that will go and eat the whole, Chinese buffet after the weigh-in to try to fill out, maximally. What's your strategy once you do make that weight, depending on whatever you have to do? Now, luckily for the Olympia, you'll have a little extra time because you're weighing in on Thursday. You're not getting on stage till what day? Saturday?
No, we weigh in Thursday and we compete the next day, Friday.
Oh, you compete on Friday. Okay, so that you got 24 hours around.
2016, we had a day and a half. We weighed in Thursday. We didn't compete till Saturday. But every show that I've done in Classic, I've only had about 16 to 18 hours weigh in. I mean, Pittsburgh and New York wasn't even that many hours. It was like 3 hours from morning, some guys fill out and really harden up with junk. God bless them. I'm not one of those guys, and I don't experiment with crazy stuff. I eat the same foods that I eat during my prep, but I think key for weighing in and then carbing up afterwards is having carbs, having glycogen in the muscle prior to making weight, because you know better than me, Dave. It takes 18 hours just for carbs to start getting to the muscle. And then you take a big boy, a big bodybuilder, it takes, a day and a half, 2 days to fully carb up. That's why so many guys look better 2 days after the show. So I think a big difference that I did for the Arnold was I ate carbs prior to weigh-in. It wasn't huge amounts, but, and your weight's not necessarily going to go up if you eat carbs. It's, you obviously cut vegetables close to the show. You're limiting water and possibly sodium depending on the athlete. So making weight while not being fully glycogen depleted is key. And then after making weight, you continue to eat some carbs, but fluid is important.
Gotcha. So it's what what you're basically saying is it's not that you're not having to go crazy after weigh-in because you've already almost filled your glycogen stores up prior to making weight. Do you find that you have to deplete more fluid to make weight because you've done that?
Yes, it's all about the fluid. I mean, especially for a guy like me, I hold water in a good way. I don't mean it in a bad way, but I hold intramuscular water. I mean, you can lose so much weight just dropping fluid. So that's how I make weight. Nothing crazy dramatic, but I restrict fluid and I make the weight, and then I'll replenish the fluid back. If anything, after weigh-in, of course I want to eat, but I don't want to eat too much, because then if you eat so much in a 15, 16-hour period, you're going to put a lot of stress on your stomach, and you're going to have a hard time controlling it on stage.
True. Very true.
I've had times where I'm pulling, I don't have a crazy vacuum like a lot of guys, but in the mornings during my prep every morning, I pull a considerable vacuum. And I posted pictures before the Arnold in the hotel room where I had a quite impressive for me vacuum, but on stage at Olympia 2017, it was gone.
Interesting. And you think that was because you ate too much?
In a short period.
Interesting. Okay, so I think it's a good strategy, actually. I usually do that strategy with guys that have to make weight the same day as the show. You remember when you were qualifying in the NPC, you'd have to make weight Saturday morning for a Saturday, show. And, if you don't carb up, you're going to look terrible on stage. So you have to carb and just pull fluid. How much weight do you actually lose from, like, say, maybe a week out to making weight? Like, is it a 10-pound, 15-pound drop?
For Arnold, I made weight so easily that I looked at Justin and I was like, I can gain 5 pounds of muscle and still make weight. So I have to be 215. I never really walk around in the gym at 215. So I'm guessing maybe a week out I'll be in the low 220s, and then you know how much weight you can lose with water,
Sure. Not too bad. Well, look, experience is really important, especially at the Olympia level, because now you kind of know what you got to do. You know the protocol. You've been there. It's the nervous aspect of it has pretty much dissipated. The question is, what do you have to do at this point to beat Breon Ansley? Do you feel that you have the tool set to do it now?
I believe I do, and I believe the whole top 5 does. Mm-hmm. Everybody has the tools. I think experience is a big key. Talk is cheap. I never make excuses. I never sit here and tell people no one cares. But at the end of the day, I've done 5 bodybuilding shows. I just started bodybuilding. I've only gone through this making weight and prepping for a bodybuilding show 5 times.
Right.
So when it hit the scene, Classic Physique in 16, it was my first real bodybuilding. Prior to that, it was men's physique.
Right.
I think I'm very well-rounded, and I think I have a lot to improve on. I think, I've been training a long time, but I'm kind of a baby when it comes to bodybuilding, getting ready for the shows. I brought my legs up and my back up a lot, even since the Arnold. And I think for me, it's a matter of dialing it in, bringing in conditioning, and coming in full and dry. Other than that, I don't really have any crazy lagging body parts. I think I'm pretty well put together and complete, and I do my best to present the package. So I think absolutely I have a great shot of taking the title.
One of the most frustrating things any bodybuilder can experience, and you can probably relate to this, is showing up the day of the show, looking your absolute best, and it's just sometimes not good enough. And sometimes you got to just accept, all right, I did as much as I can, back to the drawing board now to improve, but I left nothing on the table. And I felt that way about you at the Arnold. I really felt that you kind of like really left nothing unturned. Maybe he was just a little better. Sometimes that happens. You don't always win when you're at your best.
I felt the same way. You know me, Dave. I don't kick and scream. If you can't handle it, then this sport is not for you. Or, you don't throw a ball through the hoop and obviously score. So I think I could have been better. I think I outconditioned Breon in the 2018 Arnold. I think from behind, he was a lot more detailed, a lot harder. And I think I didn't show my physique in the best light. My front double was not looking great the way I was hitting it. And my back double could have been better. That being said, I have a lot of strong shots. My front double was my weakest. It's come up a lot. My side chest, I think, is one of the strongest in the division. Yeah. And I think I'm not a delusional bodybuilder. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I'm not biased. I give credit where credit's due. I think I have a good back. I think I have good symmetry, good shape. My lats come in low. I have a Christmas tree. It's just a matter of getting it thicker and more detailed.
It's also, bodybuilding is a work in progress always, as I tell people. And as long as when you stop improving, that's when you stop, doing well. And I think you're right. I think you still are improving at your point in your career. And still making
I'm sorry to interrupt. Every prep, I research. I listen to videos of all the top guys. I listen to your videos. I read. I'm always evolving and learning. I've been bodybuilding 24 years. I've been competing 5 years. I'm a top 5 guy in the world. If I let that get to my head and I say, oh, I'm the shit and I know everything, I'm not going to improve. My training strategy for this Olympia has changed a lot. It's an evolution. And the second you stop questioning all your tools, all your tactics, and the second you stop evolving is the second you stop improving as a bodybuilder.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck. Obviously, you've been a friend to ours and a friend to the show, and we've seen you go from, where I thought you should have won the first Olympia. You came back, the competition got even better. You brought a better look. You came to the Arnold. You could have just waited for the Olympia. You didn't. You challenged Breon there. You pushed him to the end. It was you two, the last 2 guys standing. Now you're going into the Olympia this year. You got to be considered one of the favorites. You've made a lot of improvements, and I can only hope for you, that you pull it out, because it would be a great upset and a great victory.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
You want to give a little plug for your sponsor, Diamond Ties?
Absolutely. I got to thank the guys at Dymatize, the whole team. They've been behind me since we've been together over a year now. We're going on our second year. Best products out there, great quality. I'm very, very happy with them. And we will be out there at the Olympia, so come find us and say hello.
Will you be sitting at the booth at all this weekend?
We won't have a booth at the Olympia this year, but the team will be down there. I'll be down there, of course, representing. And I'll be in the expo and hang around there and represent.
All right, Arash, have a safe flight out there. We'll see you in Vegas, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia 2018, brought to you by Redcon One. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Arash, man. Good talking.
Thanks, Dave. I'll see you soon.